Logan Essaff is an aspiring 20-year-old bowler from New Hampshire.
What age did you start bowling?
When I was 8 years old, one of my friends had a birthday party and we all went. It was pretty fun.
After a birthday party for a childhood friend, Logan was hooked on the sport and continued to be inspired by his dad.
He's the one that I've always been bowling with, and he gets some really high scoring games, so I hope I can bowl like him someday.
An average Friday morning for Logan starts with an early arrival to the lanes to beat the crowds. An avid outdoorsman who loves having a bowling alley on campus, Logan fit right in at the University of Utah.
What brought you to Utah?
Because I'm not only a bowler, definitely the school and the mountains, but it didn't hurt that the U has a bowling alley right in the Union.
So what's your favorite equipment?
I'd have to say my favorite piece of equipment is probably my shoes. Like, when I first get to the lane, open my bag, and my shoes are right there, I'm like, oh, it's time to go bowling right now.
Logan credits a lot of his successful throws to his consistent strategy.
Do you have a certain routine when you walk up to throw?
I actually do, yeah. Every time I step up, I try to put my feet in the same place and do the same thing with my hand. It's nice to have a routine each time to get your throws as consistent as possible, because that way you can get the most strikes.
If you would go bowling anywhere in the world, where would it be?
That's a good question. There's a lot of really good lanes out there. If I could go anywhere, I'd probably have to say the South Point Bowling Plaza in Las Vegas. They've hosted a number of World Series there, and they're going to host the next one too. So probably some pretty amazing lanes.
Other than his dad, Logan also looks up to some current professional bowlers.
And if you wanted to bowl with someone, who would it be?
That's a really good question. There's a lot of good bowlers right now. One of my personal heroes is Mookie Betts, because he plays for the Boston Red Sox and he's also a pro bowler, and I really like his style, how he's also trying to make bowling cool. So yeah, definitely him.
What is the best technique to get a strike?
That's a good question. It really depends on each bowler, because you just got to find something that works really well for you and just keep doing it as long as you're getting strikes consistently. For me, it's starting a little bit to the right and trying to curve the ball just to hit just to the right of the head pin, and that gives it a really good impact called the strike zone.
How do you curve the ball?
And it's all about like how your hand works. For me, I keep this pointer finger way out to the side, and when I release the ball, I flick my fingers so that it gives it just a slight spin, and the ball does the rest.
Logan has found himself to be one of the only people his age that is getting serious about bowling.
So what are goals that you have with this sport?
That's a good question. I think one of the big goals for bowling is to try to make it cool again, because not enough young people are doing it, and it's a really fun sport and good way to pass the time.
What is the biggest misconception about bowling?
I think it's probably that it's more of like an old man's game, I guess you could say. I really think that more young people should be doing it. Like, it's a great weekend thing you can do with your friends and just go have some food and have a good time throwing some balls on the lanes. But mostly when I go, I just see like older people, and it's kind of like a somber scene. But I think there's a lot of hope for the sport of bowling.
So what's the best bowling alley you have been to?
I'd have to say my home bowling alley, Fun Spot in New Hampshire in Guilford. It's a really great place. They got some nice lanes. The wax is good. They keep it nice and oiled up. It's also the largest arcade in the world if you ever get a chance to check it out.
How do you feel about cosmic bowling?
It's good because it gets people to the bowling alleys. It attracts a younger crowd, like what I'm kind of hoping to do, but it's a little bit too much flash for me. It's really distracting when you're trying to have a good game.
Any memories from bowling?
Probably too many to remember all at once, but yeah, lots of days at the bowling alley on snow days and stuff like that.
Have you ever impressed any girls in the bowling alley?
I'd probably say I've turned some heads with some of my better games, but actually, me and my current girlfriend go bowling pretty frequently together. She even beats me sometimes.
Fresh out of a successful 10 frames, Logan's favorite way to unwind is with an ice-cold Rainier Summit.